In this video, I want us to dwell on some remarks made yesterday by Nyeri Senator Wamatinga. The senator is a very close regarding Gachagua's ally, and not once or twice or thrice, they have been accompanying regarding Gachagua in his forays across the mountain, and they have also been threatening that if William Ruto disrespects Rigathi, they'll teach William Ruto some bitter lessons. Yesterday made some remarks that are very, very interesting. In our earlier video, we played the video, but we never dwelt deep into it. Listen to Wamatinga before we continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I also like to support the statement by Senator Boni Kalware. Indeed, people...
It's very interesting that that's Nyeri Senator pressing Edwin Sifuna for attacking Kenya Kwanza government. It's very interesting. That's a senator who is expected to be defending the government. He's actually pressing an opposition senator. And we cannot say that he's doing that because he's independent, because in Kenya, these leaders are never independent. They don't have a mind of their own. They always talk based on their allegiance. And normally their allegiance is at the top. So in this case, it's very clear that this is an older senator whose allegiance is clearly not with the president, but with the deputy president. And he's talking about some issues Kenyans and most of the opposition has been raising. He's talking about the high cost of living. He's talking about the edible oil import into the country, an import that has left KEBS confused, saying this today, tomorrow saying completely different thing. He's talking about the sale of parastatols, among them being KICC. I'm seeing that as a confirmation that William Ruto and Rigathi are not consulting. It appears that these decisions are just being made by a section of the government. And in this case, William Ruto and his allies, Rigathi and his team, have been kept in the dark. What does that mean and what does it portend for Kenya Kwanza Alliance? And what does it expose on what's going on the ground? Let me start by saying this. Rigathi is realizing that the mountain ground is becoming very hostile to Kenya Kwanza government. I'm seeing a Rigathi Gachagua who is trying to identify with that ground. The only way to identify with that ground is to rebel against the government. And I always consider this as politics of conmanship. Instead of Rigathi being brave and man enough to come out in public to tell William Ruto that, Mr. President, things are bad, he's using some of his foot soldiers to pass the message to William Ruto. And in this case, it's very clear he's using the Nyeri senator. Rigathi is doing that because he has realized that by him aligning himself with William Ruto, the ground will reject them as a pack. Ruto will be rejected, he will be rejected. So Rigathi is trying to identify with that ground, but indirectly. And that also goes on to confirm that Rigathi Gachagua might be thinking of a plan B. He might be thinking of a plan B. The only problem with Rigathi Gachagua is that he was a political greenhorn. He has not really matured properly on the ground. So if he makes an immature move, he might find himself walking out alone. Yes, he might find himself walking out alone. That's what I'm seeing here. Rigathi has not really captured the ground very well now that he promised so many things which he has not fulfilled. He talked about reforming tea and coffee sector. He has failed to reform that sector. So the ground is also seeing Rigathi as part of the problem. He is in a collusion with William Samoei Ruto. So Rigathi, just as William Ruto, will also face the wrath of the people. As I conclude, the remarks by Wamatinga confirms that things are not working. Ruto has failed to deliver. Rather, what Kenyans should now just do is actually to demand of the government to deliver. Don't give this government time. 1 year is more than enough. 1 year is more than enough. And even in that 1 year, if you look at all the policies the government has been trying to initiate, there are policies that, as time goes by, are just going to injure or to affect negatively the so-called hustlers. They are not very good policies. Increasing of taxes are policies that will just end up injuring the hustlers, increasing the size of the government, appointing 50 CASs. Those are things that are going to affect the hustlers. So many unnecessary foreign trips. Those are things that cannot yield any fruit. We are seeing corruption. It's clear this is a moribund government, and I'm seeing a government that is soon collapsing. Let me stop it there for now, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.